Hey guys, Richard here with e-bike reviews and adventures. Now this is part 2 of our Cargo Ebikes series, and I do have to apologize for the beautiful singing birds outside. I do have the garage door open and they are just going crazy here. It's spring has sprung in a lot of areas, right? And I'm living in Florida where the weather's nice all the time, but we have all those northern birds visiting here in the Florida area. So we have an abundance of birds and they're singing today. So please excuse those chirping noises. But let's go ahead and jump into the video. So I just released a video talking about cargo bikes in general, and I used my mock wheel Scoria because originally it was categorized as a cargo bike, and I kind of shared a little information with you. So if you missed that video, you might want to jump up there and take a look at that video first, and then look at this part 2 video. Because in this video, I want to talk to you about the the RadRunner 3 Plus that was just announced by Rad Power Bikes. And I'm starting with this one because it's most similar in style to the mock wheel Scoria, which I do own. Now I don't own any of the Rad Rover, or excuse me, the RadRunner, and I hope to one day. I hope to get my hands on one because I think it's an outstanding bike with some of the things they've done to it. So here are a couple of things, highlights that I really like, and then a couple of things that I don't care for so much. So for these videos, I do have a reference sheet here I'm going to be referring to kind of go over some of the specs and some of the things that I like and don't like, and I want to make sure I get everything down, so I wrote them down because I don't want to forget anything because it's kind of important. So let's talk about it for a minute because the RadRunner 3 Plus, it is one of the highest priced, or it is the highest priced of the three that I'm going to be talking about. And although I think it's got some great components, it's got some high-end components, I also think it's missing a couple of things, and I want you to know about that. So let's take a look at it. First of all, it does have the 750 watt motor, which we would expect for a cargo e-bike. I don't have the torque rating though. I couldn't find anything about how much torque it has, but I would hope that it would have at least maybe 90 Newton meters or higher, because you do have the capability of hauling so much cargo. Now on that note, you can haul up to 350 pounds on this bike, which is good. The bike overall weighs 75 pounds. And it has all the other, components that you would expect, except it has a spring fork instead of a hydraulic fork. Now that's not too terrible bad. I mean, because some of the bikes that we're going to be talking about in this series, they have rigid forks, which means they don't have any suspension fork at all. So this does offer suspension fork. It's just that it's a spring fork versus a hydraulic. And in my opinion, for this price point, I would like to have seen hydraulic forks. It does, however, have hydraulic brakes, which are very important. Another thing I noticed, and it appeared by some of the other videos I watched, is this particular cargo bike, okay, it's being advertised as a cargo bike, only has a single kickstand. Now it does have a mount where you can add the dual kickstand option so it keeps the bike upright, which I think is very important when you're hauling cargo and or children, but they don't seem to be including that, and that's a little bit of a disappointment because I would think that, again, for this price point, you would get a dual kickstand for being able to haul cargo and your children without the risk of them tipping over when you stop. Now the RadRunner 3 Plus does have some neat little features. It's got the torque sensor, I believe. It's got the auto-on headlights. And it's got 2 different pigtail options where you can plug in additional USB ports, which I think is great, especially if you're going to have maybe an electric cooler or something mounted on the back and you want to be able to power that. So it's got some options there, which I really like. And one of the best things I like is they came out with a whole bunch of accessories specifically for this new bike. And we're talking about the running boards to be able to haul up. Well, first of all, they've got the cushioned seat in the back that you can mount that allows you to haul a passenger. And then you got the little running boards so they have a place to put their feet, and I think that's very important. But then they have the option to be able to attach some car seats, so that you can haul smaller children on the bike, which I think is great, as well as groceries. They've got a new accessory that allows you to haul groceries in several different grocery bags that attaches to the back, and they've got hard shell boxes that you can put on the back now. So a big kudos to Rad for coming out with all these brand new accessories that go along with this bike, and that is important when you're talking about a cargo bike. Because when we're talking about cargo bikes, you could haul a variety of things, and you need to be able to have that capability, or at least have the accessories that will give you that capability. And that's not something we see in all cargo bikes in this category. So hey, if you're getting value out of this video, give me a thumbs up right now before you forget. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss all my future content. And let me know what questions you have down below. But more specifically, let me know what you think about the new RadRunner 3 Plus and its cargo carrying capacity or abilities? Is it something that you would consider buying, and what accessories would interest you most? Is it because you want to haul children? Is it because you want to use it to go grocery shopping? Or maybe you're delivering food and you want to be able to mount a cooler or something on the back? Let me know what about this bike interests you the most. Hey, that's it for this video. Now watch for the next video in which we're talking about we're going to talk about the electric expedition next. So stick around.